Hi, and welcome to Starbucks Saturday. First and foremost, as I always say in every video, I am blind, and that means I cannot look in the viewfinder and tell that or if the camera needs to be adjusted, or even know how to adjust the camera, even if I could tell. So if you can't see my face or what you'd think that you should see, sorry, not sorry. Well, last week I didn't think I was going to do a Starbucks Saturday, which is hard to believe when I think about it. My plans ended up changing. When I said that, I thought I was going to go out somewhere and then go out somewhere else. And if it was only up to me, we would have started earlier. But it wasn't up to me. And the way the plans looked at that point, it looked like we were going to be burning the midnight oil. And I was like, I am not going to want to stay up until 10, 11 midnight at night. And then get up in the morning and do a Starbucks Saturday. First of all, I'm not even sure when the last time was that I stayed up that late. Oh, I've done it plenty of times, but certainly ever since I got on this new medicine, well, the medicine's not overwhelmingly new. The job's pretty new. I've had this job since March, and you do not stay up that late and still expect to be up and ready for your job when you need to go. Although a Friday night, I don't work on Saturdays, so it doesn't matter. But the point is, my plans changed, and we ended up getting home at like 9 something, so it was fine. So I just finally watched a video that was streamed live on May 4th. I just watched it this morning. It was a girl and her friend just talking about kind of various things. One of them was one of these girls had an iPhone 10. Number one, I'm perfectly happy with my 5SE. Even if I was to upgrade to a new 5SE, I would not want a 6 or an 8 or a 10 because I don't want the big screens. I like to have a phone that I can still fit in my pocket, you know? Number two, I'm not sure at what point they get rid of the home button. 8, 10. But I'm blind, and the home button actually is pretty important to us blind people. There's a triple click home. Gesture that we kind of need. There's the app switcher, there's going to the home screen. Of course, as soon as I say that, I'm sure there's going to be blind people that say, well, I got an iPhone 10. Well, how, or I've got an iPhone 8 or whatever the first model is where you don't have a home button. Well, how do you do what we need to do then? And I still, even if it turns out that there is a way to do what I need to do and what we blind people need to do, well, what I would say a lot of people need to do, but certainly us blind people need to do without a home button. I still wouldn't want I still wouldn't want a 10 for two reasons. Number one, I still don't want a big screen. Number two, if I save up my paychecks and end up with $1,000 in my savings account, I'm not dumping it into a new phone. Now, can I spend a buttload of money on electronics if I wanted to? Yeah. But am I going to spend $1,000 on a new phone with a bigger screen and no home button? Nope. You know, I suppose I should get into this whole Nanny or Laura or whatever it is debate that people are going through. Some people swear they hear Nanny and other people swear they hear Laurel or whatever, however it goes. Can you tell I'm really not paying attention to it? And I haven't listened to it to hear for myself, but Nanny and Laurel, I don't know how those two sound anything similar. It reminds me of this thing that happened with my friend's friend. My friend was on the phone with me, and her friend was like in the same room trying to call her grandson, and and she's over here yelling at her phone, "That's not what I told you to do." I'm like, yeah, I've heard. I know what that's like, because Siri sometimes either sits like a lump on a log when I tell her to do something, or she doesn't hear me correctly. That happens even now, but this was years ago. This was like 3 or 4 years ago, I think. I can't believe it's been that long ago now, but her phone kept trying to call me when she was trying to call her grandson. And if her grandson's name was Dan or something like that, it would make sense. But how does call Ann mobile and call Noah mobile sound anything similar? Oh, well, I guess some people and phones think they hear one thing when a whole nother thing is being said. And I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll listen to that and give my 2 cents worth, but I haven't gotten into it yet. So how's this week been? Well, I was and still remain determined to find a better way than the door-to-door transportation system here to get from work. To work isn't all that bad, but going home from work, I know I changed the door that I get picked up and dropped off from to, I guess, stack the deck more in my favor. In other words, I'm now being picked up and dropped off at the door where there's actually a person whose job it is to know what's going on at that door. If they ring the bell, it's their job to actually answer it, and whereas there's no security bell on the other side of the building where I work. But I still don't want to have the door-to-door transportation system pick me up to go home. And so far this week I was able to avoid it because my preferred ride service was able to take me home the first day. And the other 3 days that I work, this friend from church was just an angel about it. He was able and willing to step in and do it. And for the next 2 work days, I've been able to avoid it because my preferred ride service has been able to come through for me. In case this is the first video of mine that you're coming across and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have a preferred ride service and then the door-to-door transportation service. And as you might have figured out by now, door-to-door transportation service, for 2 reasons at least, is not my favorite way to get home from work. Number one, with that kind of commute, if you're going straight there, I have about a 20-minute work commute. But with the door-to-door transit system, there's probably, the farther away you go, the more likely it is that you will not go straight to where you want to go. And 20 minutes easily turns into 120 minutes with this service, because they've got so many other people to pick up and drop off before we can get to my place. And between that and some problems that I've had being picked up, and one was just, this last one just pushed me to the breaking point. I've made up my mind. I am going to build a network of drivers so that when my preferred ride connection calls and says, either we can take you home, but we cannot, my preferred ride service calls me 2 business days ahead of time and tells me one of 3 things. Best case scenario, we can take you there and back. Here are your times that we'll pick you up. Second best case scenario, we cannot take you there, but we can take you home, and here's when we'll pick you up to take you home. Worst case scenario, we have no drivers available to take you either way. You have to find another way to get there and back. And when they say we can take you, actually, that's the worst case scenario. The second worst case scenario is we can take you there, but we can't take you home. So when I'm told either we can take you there, but we can't take you home, or we can't take you, period, I need people to call on. And I have one person who, if he's available, he has been willing to do it, which God love him for that. I can't tell him how much I appreciate him for that. And I just got someone who, if it's a certain day of the week, he's available, at least for as long as he and his fiance are in town. They're planning to move, which I wish them nothing but the best, and a smooth move and a smooth transition into the next chapter of their lives and all the happiness in the world. But that means he won't be here on those days. But while he is here on those days, I will take him up on it, of course. This particular Monday, he can't take me to work, and my preferred ride service is going to be able to take me home, rather. Are you getting bored to sleep by this video yet? I just feel like I'm not together right now. I'm not sure why, but this is part of the reason why every video I put up here is not a one take. Especially now that I've refigured out Tunes to Tube. Some of them are actually edited together. First of all, if you're going to do a vlog, you don't do one takes on your phone. You edit stuff together. And if you don't know how to edit on your phone, like I don't, then you edit the way you know how. In this case, in my case, it's editing via sound. You know, create a bunch of MP3 files and edit them together and create a good video. Okay, so now I'm just rambling. And I think it's at this point I'm going to have to say I'm going to wrap this up. In spite of how discombobulated I felt, especially up toward the end there, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please check out the Do Not Demonetize petition. There's a link to the video about it in the description below. Please tell Twitter to not hashtag break my Twitter. What we're asking them to do there is let third-party application developers have access to their interface that they're going to start using before they roll it out. Because without access to that interface, the app developers can't work around changes to our third-party apps that we won't like. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Whatever it is, whenever it is. I've actually got a couple of sound files that I need to upload to TunesTube and convert to videos. See you in the next video. Bye.